2026 meeting of the Southington Planning and Zoning Commission. With that, Dave, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Alternate Commissioner Scott.
Yes, here.
Alternate Commissioner Bodie.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Carey.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Bougie.
Here.
Commissioner McGuire.
Here.
Commissioner Locks.
Here.
Commissioner Coles.
Present.
Commissioner Goodrich.
Here.
Commissioner Britton.
Here.
Vice Chair Chaplinsky.
Here.
And Chair Walewski.
Here. With that, we have a quorum. Can everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everyone could remain standing, I'd like to request a moment of silent reflection and a moment of prayer, if so inclined, for our former chairperson, Robert Hammersley, who lost his courageous battle with cancer several weeks ago. Thank you. With that, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes of January 6th, quite some time ago. That's the last time we met. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 6, 2026 meeting. Second.
We have Chaplinsky with a motion first, and who was the second?
Caleb.
Mr. Coles. Thank you. Moving on, any commissioner discussion? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on. Chairman's comments? I have none. We haven't had a meeting in a month and a half. Okay. Public hearings. Calvin Eason Kastner LLC special permit application to construct an additional parking area for Southington Country Club. Property located at 248 Savage Street, Zone R 2025. That is SPU number 725. Mr. Judas, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mr. Let me get this in my face. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commission members. Welcome back from your little vacation. For the record, my name is Stephen Judas with the Office of Cole Civil and Survey, located at 876 South Main Street in Plantsville. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant. Mr. Kastner is stuck traveling, trying to get back from down south somewhere and getting booted from plane to plane to plane, so he was not able to get here in time for tonight's meeting, but it is our intention to request a table tonight as we have some comments to address, and he will be here with me at the next meeting. So tonight we're here on behalf of I'm struggling here a little bit with this wheel. It's just a little slow. I feel like my counterpart lately
Don't
with
go there.
this.
Don't go there.
Will remain nameless.
Yes. All right. Let's see if I can.
Expand it.
That giant cord coming out of the
Yeah.
ceiling is not making your life easier.
No, we'll get there. So I wanted to just kind of show the existing conditions of the site, and I have an overall aerial image here that I hope we can get to pop up. Okay. We'll see how long it takes me to get to the other slides, but we'll start with this one. As you know, I'm sure most people know, this is a 12-acre parcel zoned at R12, and it was the past location of Mary R. Queen Church, which was located in the center of the property. Southington Country Club and the parking area for the Southington Country Club is located here. And we have Chapel Hill, a permanent cul-de-sac or temporary cul-de-sac, I'm not sure. I think it's permanent at this location. Most of this cleared area kind of identifies the 12 acres that was part of the church property. That property was purchased by the applicant, the owners of Southington Country Club, which are Calvin Eason Kastner LLC. And the first thing for them was to propose this parking lot for the northwest corner of the project. This site, as you know, has an existing church. There's an existing rectory. pretty expansive parking lot with 3 curb cuts. And then there's a detention basin located at this location. This is actually for Chapel Hill stormwater management system that runs into that basin and then back out into the town system. The topography of the site, the church is pretty much at the high point, with the topography sloping in the northerly, westerly, and easterly directions. I believe there's a small amount of area that sheds off to the south, but majority of the water flows towards Savage Street and Chapel Hill. Our proposal is for, let me just try moving this. Dave, we need a new laptop. This one isn't quite cutting it. This is a blow-up of the area of our proposed parking lot. As you can see, the existing rectory building and the existing curb cut which we are proposing to utilize for our proposal. Existing sidewalk that runs through the property and along Chapel Hill. So our proposal is to construct a 94 space parking lot dedicated for use of the Southington Country Club. We're proposing a stormwater collection system to collect and manage flows from the site. That would be discharged into a detention basin at this location. This basin would manage our stormwater quality and our stormwater flows to keep our flows under pre-development conditions, which is required by your regulations. We are eliminating the driveway that currently runs from the rectory building out to the roadway. Right now, the rectory building is rented to an occupant. The Calvinist and Casner are not sure if they were going to keep the building or eliminate the building at some point, but right now they do have an occupant in it, so they want to leave it up as long as that occupant is in it. But the driveway would be terminated, and they would just use the existing parking lot for that occupant. The parking lot will have new lighting proposed, full cutoff fixtures, dark sky compliant fixtures, and really the minimal amount of lighting that we would need for safety purposes on site. We're proposing 2 separate crosswalks. We have a simple pedestrian crosswalk at this location, and we're proposing some additional improvements along the frontage of the Southington Country Club with additional sidewalk and crosswalks at those 2 entrances as well. And then we also proposed a cart path / pedestrian crosswalk at this location to tie into the existing cart path across the street. Our proposal is to utilize simultaneously flashing safety lights similar to you would see in Plantsville at the Rails to Trails crossing. They would be operated by a user's crossing. They can press a button. They would start flashing on both crosswalks at the same time. And our purpose for that is just to allow any vehicles traveling up the hill or in either direction adequate time to see that somebody is crossing the road at either location. We just felt having them both operate at the same time would be an extra measure of safety. I'm proposing extensive landscaping throughout the site. We have shrubs and street trees proposed, and we have also an area of arborvitaes that we're proposing within our property along this to provide some screening. And we're also proposing a white vinyl privacy fence along the Chapel Hill Drive frontage behind the evergreens for additional screening to the Chapel Hill residents. At the moment, the applicant isn't sure, kind of what they're going to do with the rest of the property. They're just kind of up in the air. This was the first step, and the idea was to, again, change this curb cut, improve it, eliminate this connection to the existing church, make these improvements. As you know, when there is overflow parking for the country club, typically has historically used the church property with permission from the church. Where this proposal is to move that parking closer to the country club and provide a safer means of egress for users that are crossing the street. Handicap spaces would be provided at the country club. They have some now, but we would increase the number of parking, handicap spaces at the country club to accommodate the additional parking spaces that we have here. We also are proposing EV-ready spaces as required by your regulations for the areas closer to the existing house, because we have power at the house. We figured if we needed that, we could connect to the power at that location. We looked at, Mr. Kasner had met with some residents from Chapel Hill and tried to get some of their concerns, and we've tried to incorporate some of those into our plan. We have comments from the town planner, the town engineer, and the police department that we're working on. So our goal in the next, we're going to meet with Connor and Dave tomorrow to review their comments. And we didn't see anything earth-shattering. I think we'll be able to get those resolved in the next week or so, and hopefully at the next meeting we'll have a finalized set of plans for the commission. So this is a work in progress. The other thing, we did shoot site distances from this existing curb cut, and we do have adequate site distances along Savage Street for our proposed activity here. So with that, I'm going to offer to answer any questions you might have, and then obviously we'll hear from the public and see what they have, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that I was going to request a table.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right.
At this time, I'd like to open it up to members of our commission with any questions. Anyone? Commissioner Bowles?
Hi, Steve. Welcome back.
Thanks, Caleb.
Quick question. The detention basin that you mentioned that's along Chapel Hill, is that going to be the same that's going to serve the parking lot, or is that going to be renovated to take both?
No, so we're proposing an additional separate detention system for our development. So the Chapel Hill detention basin is on land of Calvin East and Kasner with an easement to the town for maintenance purposes. Our proposal is to construct a separate detention basin. We do have them connected. However, one of the comments from Connor was to change that connection. So it'll be tied into the Chapel Hill system,
Okay.
one way or the other.
That's all I had.
Anyone else? Mr. Britton?
Steve, you know the property better than I do. Can you just talk about sidewalk or potential for sidewalk and what was addressed with planning, please?
So there's an existing sidewalk that runs from Chapel Hill. There's a crosswalk at this location, and an existing sidewalk runs all the way across our frontage. We are proposing sidewalk connections into our lot at this location. We have another sidewalk location here that runs through the island out to the other aisle, so any people on this aisle can cross along the sidewalk. And then we have another wide sidewalk at this location that connects to a wider crosswalk here that would tie into the existing cart path. So from a sidewalk perspective on Town of Southington property, they're already there. We're not proposing to alter them, just add to them where necessary.
Thanks, Steve.
For once, I don't have to ask for a waiver, so
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Steve. So for the items that the police department came back with, those 3 or 4 questions, I assume those are going to be discussed with the staff and resolved? 'Cause
Yeah, those
they
were,
have-
those were.
I know you touched on it a little bit. but-
Yeah, those were our intentions from the beginning. Site distances are adequate, the safety lighting at the crosswalks and so on,
Okay.
I think were their issues, and that we intend to address those issues appropriately.
That's it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Dennis?
How many curb cuts do you have, Steve, for that parking lot?
There's an existing curb cut at this location that is used for the church currently. We're proposing to utilize that existing curb cut. We're going to reconstruct it. We're going to disconnect it from the church with landscaping. So we just have one proposed curb cut. One existing curb cut.
is on the far right.
Right at this location. Yep. There was no other curb cuts for this parking lot, just that one.
Sue?
Steve, coming from South End Road and coming up over the hill,
Mm-hmm.
okay, are you gonna have any type of signage that this is coming up where there's gonna be crossing? Because people go awfully fast on that road.
As I mentioned, we were proposing crossing signs at this location, lit
Yep.
crossing signs, but
We're
we
talking
can
about
definitely,
further down.
yeah, we can definitely incorporate additional signage.
Yep.
Yes.
You good, Sue? Anyone else? Okay, my question is for Dave, and to the public. Dave's our acting town planner. Because this is just a portion of the entire property, and it's a special use permit, the regulations allow them to seek this small change without having a more elaborate proposal for the remainder of the property?
Yeah, at this point, Mr. Chairman, so the reason they're able to do this is because recreational facilities are allowed under special permit. So thereby, if they want to expand it, they can, similar to what Mount Southington did across the street from
Okay.
their facility. And then, yeah, we'd like to see an overall plan, but if they don't have one, we're not going to force them. The use is essentially grandfathered in there, the other uses. So I imagine there'll be more complementary uses on the site eventually, but we'll definitely see them. They'll have to modify the SPU
All right, well,
once
thank you.
again.
Yeah, thank you very much. I felt that you would answer that question and better than I could for the benefit of the public that's here. So with that, Steve, you're good?
I'm good, thank you. I'll wait
Right,
to hear from
so-
the public.
Do we leave this open?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we just asked if anyone's in favor.
Oh, yeah, yeah. At this point, if you're good, we'll open it up to the public to, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this project? Anyone opposed?
Let's go to the podium.
Come up to the podium, please. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Arthur Spedberg. I live at 24 Chapel Hill, right across the street from where the parking lot is going. So I looked at the documents that were posted on the website, and there are some concerns. Of course, we live right there. I look out and I'm looking directly into the detention pond that exists right now, which was just really cleaned out nicely and made a big difference. So top of the questions are really is the crossings, right? So there's two here. One is close to Chapel Hill, and the other one is a little bit farther down. And there was, in the planning department offered up change to make it one crossing and more so in the middle of the entire parking lot footprint, right? That would bring it down a little bit further, almost adjacent, it looks like it's almost adjacent from the cart path on the backside of the 18th green. That is more preferable for us, only because it's a little bit farther away from the road. And if we're trying to pull out, looking down, there's cars going across, there's cars coming up. I think it gives a little bit more room for us on Chapel Hill, okay?
Well, so what I'd ask you to do is kind of form that in a question for the applicant.
Okay,
We're here to kind of absorb all the
Sure.
information. If you can form that, we'll let Mr. Judas come back up and answer, you know, when you're done with your question.
okay. Can I continue on with my
Yes.
other questions? Okay.
Yes.
The other piece that I'm concerned with is, I looked at the map, I can read maps, used to draw maps. So I see on there where the privacy fence goes. It goes down pretty far, but where this proposed detention pond is, which is added on to the top of where the existing one, it's kind of open there. So when I stand out on my front steps, I turn this way and I'm going to be looking right into a detention pond, right? Whereas if they brought the fence down a little bit further and some of the screening, that would help tremendously.
So
And
to
that,
be clear, you'd prefer to look at the fence versus a detention pond?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
looking into a detention pond, which I already do, if I turn my
Okay.
head this way, I'm looking into a detention pond.
All right, so I'm just trying to phrase
so-
a question for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right, I'm new to this, I've never done this
Understood.
before, I apologize
understood.
for my not knowing that. So, so then they question the screening of the screening trees as well. And I think there was in the engineering comments. The ones that they put in originally, 36 years ago, were not of the best quality type, and they overgrew onto the sidewalk, and I think that was one of the comments, because they just went through and cleaned those back, right? But I can tell you that there are varieties of abrevieties that don't do that. So by having that screening there, that would be very helpful. I'm gonna miss that nice little view I had there, but all things considered, you know, if you have something that screens or helps us not have to look into a parking lot all the time, I think that would be, you know, good for us. I've been on the street since it was first developed. I haven't moved. The other thing is, it looks like I said, the fencing doesn't go all the way down, but the trees do. But again, thinking about looking again into another detention pond, that's a concern. The other concern is that we do want to make sure, and we're the second house in, Marcy is on the corner. Those 9 spots that are there are gonna be screened with the fence, so that part of it is good. But, you know, is it even possible to flip those 9 spots onto the other end? And that we don't even have those spots, because, you know, I don't know what kind of reflections or things are gonna be coming at the house. I mean, it goes right into our front windows, you know, so that was a concern. And I think, even with the additional parking spots there as proposed, what is to stop other people from parking on Chapel Hill as they did in the past? What the owners did, Ray Kasner, they put out a sign that said, please park in the church parking. And most times that worked. There were some people that bucked that a little bit, but it gets very, the road is very narrow to begin with. And with cars parked there, it was even harder to pass through. And carts were driving up and down the sidewalks, and, you know, so I think the carts, the crossing, the fence, the detention pond, those considerations, I think, is what we're looking to have addressed.
Well, I appreciate your time. I mean, I can speak to the parking on the street. We, as a commission, will
Yep.
do everything we can to eliminate that, you know, whether it's parking, no parking signs or whatever.
Right.
If this application is gonna move forward, we wanna see on-street parking come to an end.
Right, right.
So-
I mean, the other thing too is we want to also, I mean, we have guests too at times, right? So if we aren't able to have people that visit us park on our side of the street, or, you know, that's also a concern, because it narrows that down to having us to be able to do that,
Understood.
so.
So thank you for your comments. What
Okay.
we'll do right now is we'll open it back up to the floor if any of your neighbors want to speak.
Okay.
And then we'll have the applicant come and address all the questions when everyone's through.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak against or for or against? Everyone seems to be kind of neutral. Okay, seeing none. Steve, if you'd like to address the concerns of the neighborhood?
I'll do my best. I think the comments that I wrote down were, I'll have to talk to the applicant about trying to centralize a crossing if it's something, Mr. Kasner was pretty specific with his vision of what he thought was here, and I know that I do believe he spoke with you about the improvements, the fencing and the landscaping, and we originally had the crosswalk crossing Chapel Hill and then going to the parking lot, but we got the feeling that the neighborhood wasn't in favor of that, and that's when we moved it to this corner, the opposite corner on Chapel Hill. So we'll talk to Mr. Kasner about that and see if we can find a resolution. Same thing with the basin. The original detention basin, I don't know for sure, but probably was planted with white pines because they grow quick and they cover things up, and unfortunately they don't get maintained. And I'm going to throw the town of Southington under the bus because it's your detention basin, and if they weren't maintained, it was on the town of Southington. However, this detention basin will be owned by the Calvaneses and Mr. Kasner, and it will be maintained by the golf course personnel, and it will be probably one of the nicer looking detention basins that you would see in town, I'm sure. However, we did propose arborvitaes, and I will talk to him about extending the fence down in that area as well. So we'll try to resolve that issue. Flipping the spaces to the other side, it's a possibility. I generally try to keep people from backing out in an aisle. All your traffic's going to be coming in through that aisle, so we generally would rather not have spaces there. So we need the aisle as far away from Chapel Hill as we can. We can look at it, we can talk to the staff about it, or we can also look at trying to increase the buffering in that area of those parking spaces. And that was the purpose for the white vinyl privacy fence, was to try to keep those cars and headlights away from the opposing residential houses. And then parking on Chapel Hill, it's kind of a catch-22. I know when the Calvaneses took over the country club, it became an issue, and I think they really worked hard putting up signs and trying to keep people from parking there. And I felt like they had gotten to a pretty good place where people would just accept parking at the church and walking over. We can't control everybody, and sometimes I don't think the owners of the country club can tell if that car is one of their cars or does it belong to a resident's, family or friend parking on the street. So it's a difficult thing. We could request, the PD would be responsible for putting, saying yes, we could put no parking signs or not there. But if we put no parking signs there, that means the residents can't park there either. So I think that's something that have to kind of be vetted out a little bit further. I think the no parking signs maybe are something that I really believe once this is constructed, you will see those people parking in this parking lot. But if it does become a problem, the no parking signs I think would be the fallback if it really became an issue. So that's how I would kind of handle those. And I will incorporate as much of this as I can in our revisions. And hopefully when we come back to see you again, we'll have
I think you've answered the questions appropriately. I think that the ownership would be willing to extend a fence if it meant it, and enhancing any buffer to handle any kind of neighbor's concerds.
and I'll look at it. I mean,
Proposed
maybe we can
arborvitaes
even
as
do a
opposed to
berm or
pines.
something, Yeah.
You proposed arborvitaes instead of pines.
Yep.
Probably, if you went with Green Giant, they're going to grow as fast as pines, if not faster, and much more maintained, so.
Whenever I work for this applicant, the landscape plan always comes out way better than what I propose.
Yeah, understood.
So I can tell you they usually go above and beyond with the landscaping, so.
So,
They're emerald green.
yeah,
Am I able to ask a follow-up?
so if you're through,
Am I able to ask a follow-up now, or?
yes.
Okay. Just because, I was gonna wait for your answers to the questions before, but just because the retention pond was brought up, I saw one of the questions from the town was related to the retention pond, and noting that it has to be 50 feet away from any residential property lines.
Yeah.
So is what we're looking at now gonna be where the retention pond actually ends up being?
So this is not 50 feet away from the property line, and we're going to meet and discuss that tomorrow, because I don't believe that that's required in this situation. So we're gonna review that
Okay.
respectfully to Connor.
And Steve, just real quick, what's the number of parking spots here? I was trying to count them in the rendering, and then I lost count.
I wrote it down. It is 94, I believe.
94.
Yeah, I think we were shooting for 100, but we didn't quite get there, so.
Thank you.
Everyone good?
Just didn't see it right here.
At this point, we will look for a table.
Yes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Thank you for your time
we'll move
tonight.
on to the next item. Item B, Sarah Smith, Momentum Solar, special permit application to install a ground-mounted solar array of 28 modules, subject to I.C.3.D and 7.B.2.3 of the regulations. Property located at 20 Brownstone Drive, Zone R40, and this is SPU number 726.
Is this a community laptop I can just use, or do I?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
so I brought my own too.
And you are Sarah Smith?
Yes,
And please state your address for the record.
like the work address is 80 Clark Drive, Unit A1 in East Berlin, Connecticut, 06023.
Okay. If you could speak into the microphone. we'd
Oh, sorry.
appreciate it. Just move it towards you so it's more comfortable. Thank
Okay.
you.
And where are the files on here? Like, are there any in here already?
No, Mr. Chair, you just have to put a zip drive in the back if you have a.
Oh, I don't. I have my whole laptop. Would that be possible to hook up to this?
As long as your virus protection is up to date.
Could you just go to our website and pull that information?
You could
Yeah, you could do that.
get most of the documents from the planning website.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Looks like you found it.
Yes. So yeah, it's a ground mount array. It's in their backyard. I don't believe this will be too visible from the street because there's a lot of tree coverage up on the top here. 28 modules. Let's see, the square footage is on here somewhere. Right there, 515 square feet. So yeah, it's not super large. Yeah, if you have any questions.
Okay, so the orientation is South End Road, and so it's
The-
behind the home. You can see that. There's another street, Brownstone Drive, so
Yeah,
are
so
those
there's-
trees existing that would screen it?
Sorry, the trees, is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, off of Brownstone.
You're showing trees along Brownstone?
Yeah, they're all pre-existing.
Are they significant enough to screen?
I believe so, here. I go to Google Maps on here. I only looked at it from the other angle earlier, but,
Sorry, boss. You do satellite view?
I'm trying, it's not loading. Hold on, let's go back this way.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Big trees right there.
Yeah, so We might be able to see a little bit through there, but for the most part, it's pretty covered.
At this point, are you done with whatever you have for us?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Well, no, meaning the information you're providing us.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
okay.
pretty
So
straightforward.
at this point, I'll open it up to commissioners with any questions. Commissioner Britton?
What is the general output of this array?
So I would have to, I don't even know if I have that in here. On the contract has all that information on it. I don't think I have that on hand.
I think there's electrical information on page 4 or 5 of the plan set you had pulled up. Maybe 6.
So that's just like the information about like,
Do you know the general output?
I don't. I would need to, I always look at the contract for that, which I don't believe is uploaded here. I could pull it up on my laptop, if you need it.
The reason why I'm asking, because, residential use is not to exceed 15 kilowatts per dwelling, so.
I have it as 12, Mr. Chairman.
All right. 12, Dave?
Yeah.
It's on a 1 acre.
Oh, the
parcel.
kilowatts is 12.04.
Okay,
If
that's what I
that's
was.
what you- yeah.
You all set? Anyone else? Caleb?
Yeah, thanks. I have two questions. Is this, I guess we're still waiting on health to give their approval for the plan.
Yes.
Is this on public water sewer, or is this on septic?
I believe it is both well and septic. That should
So
show
that's-
on here as well. Yeah, it's well and septic. So neither is public.
Where is the field?
On the other side of the house. Or, yeah, because it should be right near the septic tank. I think it's just cut off right here.
You're looking for the leaching fields, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's also gonna be a requirement for a reserve field. And so I mean, that's why I'd be certainly willing to hear what health department has to say,
Okay.
because if you're gonna have that impact the reserve field, it's gonna be a problem. My second question is, why do you need to do this? Why can't we just put it on the roof?
It's usually just homeowner preference. It might have something to do with the condition of the roof, but I think it's probably just because it's more hidden back there.
Caleb, are you good? You're thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking. That's my question. Okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Zach?
So my question is, for that array, is that angled towards the south in this layout?
So, I had the compass a minute ago. It's like directly north-south.
Okay. So, my one concern is just whether, at certain times of the day or certain times of the year, whether the sun will hit that just right, and that could, reflect onto the neighbor's house to the south, or onto Brownstone, or
No,
drivers
they're-
on South
They
End
have
Road.
like matte finish on it, so it
Okay.
shouldn't be reflective.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, with that, is there anyone, are you finished? You're finished with your presentation? Okay, is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak for or against? Okay, seeing none. My question to Dave would be, this is ready for action at this point pending health?
Mr. Chairman, I'm still waiting for a couple responses. You could stipulate them, but one would be to correct the setbacks, because this will be an official document for the record.
Okay.
So I just let them know what the proper setbacks should be. Not that the array is in it, but someone may refer to this in the future for another project. And it is a signed stamp plan, so it should be
Okay.
correct.
Well, I mean, I understand we haven't met in a while, but there's no sense in rushing through something that's incomplete. So at this point,
Which I believe engineering has some comments too.
yeah, I think that there's some outstanding issues that we would need to wait, so with that, we're gonna look for a table on this, and then we can, you know, once you correct with the town, we can act on this at our next meeting.
Okay, is that about the engineering comments that we were working on?
Well, it's engineering and health, yeah, and then
And the health,
the print
okay.
is stamped and it's incorrect, so, you know, you need to get, you know, the paperwork aligned with the approval,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
All right, so with that, I'm looking for
So
a
moved.
motion to table. Commissioner Britton has a
Second to
motion,
table,
second
SPU
with
726.
Commissioner Coles, so with that, looking for a voice vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that, motion carries. The item is tabled. Moving forward now, thank you, you are all set. With that, that ends our public hearings, and we will move into the business portion of our meeting. So, Dave, items A and B, can we combine them, or do we need separate tables for each?
You could just ask for a voice vote on each, but you
Okay.
can combine it right now and say which one is which.
All right, so item A, SPU number 725, I'm looking for a table,
Motion to table.
motion to table.
So
Rob?
moved, yep.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is tabled. Item B, SPR 1914, I'm looking for a motion to table.
Make a motion to table SPR.
Okay,
1914.
a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's tabled. Let powers that be sort out what happened. Okay, item C.
I'm sorry, was that an alternate that seconded?
Yes.
No,
I think
No,
you
it was
did, right?
Justin.
Oh, okay. It's your voice, that's all.
Okay.
no, that's fine.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Item C, SPU number 726. I'm looking for a motion to table.
Make a motion to table SPU 726.
Okay, Commissioner Coles with a motion, a second.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Britton with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is tabled. Item D, SPR 1915. I'm looking for a motion to table.
Motion to table SPR 1915.
Okay, Commissioner Chaplinsky, a second, please.
Second.
Hands off that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item E. We have to go back to work. Mandatory 824 referral to planning and zoning for the proposed bond ordinance appropriating 86,675,560 for costs related to the elementary facilities plan, including a new Kelly Elementary School, a fit-out of the South End Elementary School, and closing Flanders Elementary School, and repurposing the building and property for municipal and community use, and authorizing the issue of $86,675,560 bonds and note to finance the appropriation. This is MR number 574.
Mr. Chairman, we'd just be looking for a positive recommendation if you're so inclined.
Okay, we're looking for a positive recommendation on this. I'm going to call on Vice Chair Chaplinsky with a POCD recommendation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, in alignment with the memo that our town manager sent on March 13th, I did look at the 2016 POCD document, which captures information related to this referral. It's 824 referral. I just want to read a quick paragraph from section 12, first page 81. The plan of conservation and development does not get involved in the day-to-day operations of individual departments. Rather, the plan seeks to identify potential community facility needs, such as buildings and sites, so that they can be anticipated and planned for. The plan also serves as a useful guide for referrals of proposed municipal improvements as required by CGS Section 824 for review by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Following to page 84, there is a section called Education Facilities that includes Darrenowski Elementary, Flanders Elementary, and Kelly Elementary, in addition to the others. In the far right-hand corner, under the assessment column, in the last bullet point, it does say, if enrollment decreases are realized in the future, this may allow for consolidation to one less elementary school. In recognition of the content that I just read in the 2016 POCD document, pages 81 to 84, I'm recommending a positive referral for 824 to, how should I, to the town council?
Yeah.
To the council.
To the town council. All right, thank you, Vice Chair. Is there any additional comments from the commission?
Yeah, just being new to the commission, I'd just like some clarification on what are we doing with this recommendation as far
We're
as,
sending it to the town council with
Uh,
our recommendation that they approve it.
that they approve the full 86,675,000? Or
It has to go out to
It'll go to
referendum. Basically, it's the
referendum.
next step
We're-
that goes.
We're
referendum.
basically just following protocol,
Okay.
sending
Yeah,
it to them.
blessing the consolidation.
And the next,
Okay.
the next step is referendum, in which the residents of Southington will decide whether they want this or not.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, real quick for everyone, the Plan of Conservation Development gets renewed, updated every 10 years. The 2016 one is due now. It is a legal document that provides clarity on, what we think the future should be for the town. So if something comes up, you can refer back to it, and if it refers to what you're speaking about positively, if it meets the points, you should be comfortable moving forward with it. A lot of time and effort goes into those plans. You'll be seeing the latest one probably in May. And again, it's a guidance document. It's a great referral for everyone to take a look at for any development that comes in throughout town.
Thanks, Dave.
Satisfied?
Indeed.
Okay. Anyone else? Caleb?
So I just want to comment that I think that, the town has struggled with what to do with our schools for a very long time. And I'm happy to see that, and I know that it's not the best of worlds because we all love our neighborhood schools. However, we do have to make a decision, and I think that the plan in front of us is going to take Southington to the next step for our educational system, and I appreciate the reuse and repurposing, and like the Vice Chair said, it is part of our POCD to reuse and repurpose buildings and lands for community use. So I think this is a good opportunity.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to say I'm also supportive. Instead of kicking this can down the road and, costing the town and taxpayers a lot more money down the road, it may not even go through, but I'm supportive of it today.
Okay, thank you. I will just offer that I'm pleased to see that it's comprehensive, it's a long-term vision, and it's addressing the needs of multiple buildings, and it's putting it before the residents and the taxpayers so that they can decide. It's not leaving us coming back and asking for more. So I think it's a good thing, and with that, Dave, can you call the roll?
Could we just get a second? Did we get a second on that?
I'll second
Oh,
this.
Second,
thank you.
okay.
All right, Commissioner McGuire.
Yes.
Commissioner Locke.
Yes.
Commissioner Coles.
Yes.
Commissioner Britton.
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich.
Yes.
Vice Chair Chaplinsky.
Yes.
And Chair Walowski.
Yes. With that, the motion carries. Okay, item F, release of soil and sedimentation bond for $1,000, Exec West Retail LLC, property located at 99 Executive Boulevard. This is SPR number 1686.5. Ready for action?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need a voice call or all in favor?
Oh, you can just do a, all in
Okay.
favor.
All in favor of SPR 1686.5?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item G, release of soil and sedimentation bond in the amount of $5,300, Sandy Fields LLC property at 233 Dunham Street. This is number S1311. Ready for action?
Yes.
Okay, with that said, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 11, administrative items. Dave?
No, I don't have any.
None. Item 12, receipt of new applications and item to schedule for public hearing.
Yes, we have a zone change request for the zone district boundary from Southington 2 LLC. It's a petition to change the zoning district boundary from I2, heavy industrial, to business zone. Property located at 682 Curtis Street and a portion of 115 Summit Farms Road.
Okay. I'm going to offer that this is a big one. Dave's going to be sending out some information for all of us to read. I encourage everyone to read it. I encourage everyone to take a drive by the site and absorb what is being proposed here. This is a zone change. This is not a site permit or anything. So this is going to change the complexion of that area. So we need to make sure we get this right. Thank you. With that said, item 13, we are going to enter executive session to discuss pending litigation. Attorney, are you ready? Yes, I am. All right, so with that said, we are now in executive session.
Good, yeah. Hold on 1 second, we'll just.
Are alternates joining? Are alternates joining?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no problem.